Okay, so today's question comes from actually a VP of a sales company that I'm coaching, and we're doing a training, and I identified for him the number one, actually what I feel, not just feel, but what I've measured in the past to be the number one enemy for sales, for salespeople, not just for sales, but salespeople, and that is time management, what people call time management. But what I call promise management or outcome management. So the management of your promises or your outcome, or management of your outcomes or your results. So why is that so? Because now, of course, there are many enemies. I don't contend that some people may find bigger enemies than time management. Maybe that unconscious that drives their inability to sell. Could be, fear. Could be resignation. Could be a lot of things, and I agree with that. However, from a more grounded, concrete manner, most people have a hard time generating their sales because their ability to manage their time, or like I say, manage their promises, is very weak. So what's the correlation or relationship between promises and sales? Well, very simply put, if your client gauges you to be unreliable, or people who you're selling to gauge you to be unreliable, you're not going to sell a lot of things to them. And if they do buy, it's because it's cheap, or there's some other feature about it that's very compelling. It's compelling enough, but typically you're going to pay the price for it at some level. Either a delay of sales, or a delay of the sale occurring, or that they negotiate something that you should really be getting. So when you're construed to be unreliable, then your ability to sell goes down. Not too difficult to understand. Now, on the other side of it, of course, if you're construed to be more reliable, then it becomes a lot easier to sell. So your ability to manage your own promises is really how I define reliability. Reliability is very simply put the percentage of times that you keep your promises in a particular domain. So reliability depends on the domain. So if you want to be more reliable in a particular domain, example, cooking a good meal. So if you promise a good meal, tasty meal, gauged by your daughters or your sons, and 90% of the time they say yes, really great. So your reliability is about 90%. If you're a heart surgeon and you out of 1,000 people that you have performed surgery on, 999 survive, then you're 99.99% reliable, right? And you want to gauge your reliability realistically like that. Most people overestimate their reliability by several factors usually, and I include myself in that from time to time. We're just human that way. We tend to do that. And so when I tell people is to measure your reliability, and you'll get an idea of how strong your promise making is. You may find as you measure it that you're more strong in your business promises, the promises to clients, than the promises to other people in your staff. Or you may be stronger in promises to your staff than promises to yourself, right? Or you may be stronger in promises to yourself than in other areas. But you want to start getting really straight about that. And the only way to get straight is to measure it and actually see, okay, promises versus actual delivery of promises. What's your percentage? So again, why is that important? Because the more straight you keep stuff in your head, the more present you can be with a client. And when you break promises, or you have promises that are unaccounted for, your brain picks it up. Unfortunately, from evolution, it's always looking for pattern mismatches and patterns as well. But if a pattern doesn't make any sense, then it tends to throw up I would assert a worry signal for you. And it's a distracting signal. It distracts you from being present. And so what I'm doing my darndest to explain to you is, if you handle all that stuff, you account for your promises, then your brain doesn't have to be distracted. The less distracted you are, chances are the happier you would be, and also chances are that you'll probably sell more. So I hope that makes sense, and I hope that makes a difference for you. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to email me.